The midnight visitor, the thunderstorm lashed against the old farmhouse with unnatural fury. Thomas Parker stood at the kitchen window, watching lightning slice through the darkness like cosmic daggers. At 42, the former military medic had seen enough combat to recognize when something felt wrong. Tonight, the air hummed with an electric tension that had nothing to do with the weather. "Dad?" His 17-year-old daughter Faye appeared beside him, her auburn hair twisted into a messy bun. "The horses are freaking out. I think something's wrong in the barn." Thomas grabbed his raincoat and flashlight. "Stay here with your mother." "It's not happening," Faye replied, already pulling on her boots. The 100-yard dash to the barn left them drenched. Inside, the horses whinnied nervously, stomping their hooves against the wooden stalls. Thomas swept his flashlight across the shadowy interior, the beam finally landing on a small huddled form in the corner. "Hello?" he called, approaching cautiously. "Are you hurt?" The figure shifted, and Thomas froze. The child, if it was a child, had luminescent blue skin that pulsed with faint light. Large, almond-shaped eyes regarded them with unmistakable fear. "Dad," Faye whispered. "That's not human." The creature attempted to retreat further into the corner, but winced in pain. A dark liquid, not blood, but something iridescent seeped from a wound on its leg. Thomas's medical training kicked in. "It's injured," he said, kneeling slowly. "Hey there, little one. We won't hurt you." The barn door burst open as Hannah Parker entered, her medical bag in hand. As the local veterinarian, she'd treated everything from horses to hawks, but nothing like this.
"Thomas?"
What in God's name? Her words died as she saw the alien child. The creature spoke, its voice melodic, yet strained. "Help, ... please." Hannah recovered first. "Bring it inside, now." Within minutes, the alien lay on their kitchen table while Hannah cleaned the wound with gentle precision. "It's a girl, I think," she murmured, applying a bandage. "Or whatever the equivalent is." The creature's luminescence brightened. "Neri," she said, touching her chest. "I am Neri." Thomas felt something stir within him, the same protective instinct that had made him shield wounded comrades on the battlefield. "You're safe now, Neri." Outside, the storm intensified. None of them noticed the faint red lights hovering in the clouds above their farm, nor the sleek silhouette that descended briefly before vanishing into the forest beyond their property line as dawn approached. Thomas watched the alien child sleep on their couch, her blue skin glowing softly in the darkness. He'd survived 3 tours in Afghanistan by trusting his instincts. Those same instincts now told him their lives had irrevocably changed. Faye whispered from beside him. "What happens when others find out?" Thomas placed his arm around his daughter's shoulders. "Then we protect her. That's what humans do or should do anyway." Strange connections. Morning light filtered through the farmhouse windows, illuminating Neri's translucent blue skin. After a night of fitful sleep, she sat at the kitchen table, cautiously examining a bowl of oatmeal while Faye demonstrated how to eat it. "Like this," Faye said, taking a spoonful. "It's good, I promise." Neri mimicked the motion perfectly, her large, opalescent eyes widening with pleasure at the taste. "Sweet," she said, her voice musical. "Thank you, Faye Human." Hannah entered, medical scanner in hand. "How's our patient this morning?" "The wound is healing already," Thomas replied, amazed at the alien child's recovery rate. "Faster than any human could." Neri looked up. "Stellari heal quickly. Not like humans, but stronger in other ways." "Stellari? Is that what you are?" Faye asked. Neri nodded. "My guardian." She stopped suddenly, distress clouding her features. "Yavik? I must find Yavik." Before they could question her further, the sound of tires on gravel interrupted them. Thomas peered through the curtains to see a black SUV approaching. "Government plates," he muttered. "Hannah, take Neri upstairs." 2 men in dark suits emerged from the vehicle. The taller one flashed a badge. "Agent Wilson, Department of Special Sciences. This is Agent Reeves. We're investigating reports of unusual atmospheric disturbances last night." Thomas maintained a neutral expression. "Just a bad storm as far as we could tell. Mind if we look around?" Wilson asked, though his tone made it clear it wasn't really a question. While Thomas led the agents around the property, Faye sat with Neri in the attic bedroom. "Who's Yavik?" she whispered. "My protector," Neri replied, tracing patterns on the dusty window. "We escaped together when the Virax attacked our research vessel. Our escape pods separated during atmospheric entry." Faye's heart raced. "There are others looking for you? Bad ones?" Neri's skin dimmed with fear. "The Virax hunt stellari for our empathic abilities." She stopped, her head tilting as if listening to something. "Yavik is alive. I can sense him." Downstairs, the agents concluded their inspection. "If you notice anything unusual, call this number immediately," Wilson said, handing Thomas a card. As the SUV disappeared down the driveway, Thomas felt a prickle at the back of his neck. He'd been watched by enough enemy combatants to recognize surveillance when he saw it that night. Thomas took first watch while the others slept. The midnight stillness was broken by a soft knock at the back door. Heart pounding, he grabbed his shotgun and approached cautiously. Standing on the porch was a tall, humanoid figure with the same blue skin as Neri, though darker and marked with intricate patterns. The alien raised empty hands in a universal gesture of peace. "I am Yavik," he said, his deep voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre. "I believe you have been caring for my ward." Their eyes met, and Thomas felt an unexpected recognition between two protectors. "She's safe," Thomas replied, lowering his weapon. "And now, maybe you both are." Hunters in the dark Yuvek sat stiffly at the kitchen table, its broad shoulders and regal posture making the human furniture seem diminutive. His reunion with Neri had been touching the small child launching herself into his arms with a cry of joy, his protective embrace enveloping her completely. "Our research vessel was attacked without warning," Yavik explained. Accepting the coffee Thomas offered with curious interest, "The Variks are trophy hunters who consider stellari empaths valuable prizes. Neri is especially gifted, even among our kind." "Your soldiers?" Hannah asked, noticing the way Yavik carried himself similar to Thomas's military bearing. "I am a guardian, sworn to protect stellari researchers," Yavik replied. "Neri is the daughter of our lead xenobiologist. We were studying Earth from orbit when the attack occurred." Thomas leaned forward. "Those government agents weren't just investigating a meteor crash, were they?" Yavik's expression darkened. "The Virax have technology that can mimic your governmental authorities. They are skilled infiltrators." The implications hung heavily in the room. Faye broke the silence. "So those men who came here may not have been human at all," Yavik finished. Thomas exchanged glances with Hannah. 20 years of marriage allowed them to communicate volumes without words. She nodded slightly. Decision made. "You'll stay here," Thomas stated firmly. "Both of you. At least until we figure something out later." As Hannah and Faye showed Neri around the farm, Thomas and Yavik walked the perimeter of the property. "Checking security. Your protective instinct for Neri is impressive," Yavik observed. "Even though she is not of your species." Thomas shrugged. "Some things transcend biology. The desire to protect children is one of them. Among my people, such a trait is highly valued," Yavik said, his deep voice softening. "The capacity for compassion beyond one's own kind is rare in the universe." Their hands brushed accidentally as they adjusted a motion sensor, and Thomas felt an electric tingle race up his arm. Yavik's eyes met his, widening slightly. "You felt that?" Thomas asked. "Stellari are touch telepaths," Yavik explained. "Emotional resonance occurs when minds are ... compatible." The moment was interrupted by distant headlights approaching the farm. Not on the main road, but across the fields, multiple vehicles moving without lights. "Get inside," Thomas ordered, military command returning to his voice. "They've found you." Inside the house, Hannah was already moving with purpose, grabbing the emergency backpacks they'd prepared after Yavik's warnings. "The storm cellar," she directed, leading Neri toward the hidden entrance behind the pantry. Thomas grabbed his shotgun while Yavik produced a sleek device from his belt that hummed with energy. Their eyes met again, and that same connection flashed between them, stronger this time, a wordless understanding. "They will not take her," Yavik stated. Thomas nodded grimly. "Not while we're breathing." It's outside. Dark silhouettes moved across the fields toward the farmhouse. The hunters had arrived, but they would soon discover that humans protecting their own could be the most dangerous prey of all. Hidden talents? The storm cellar was lined with emergency supplies, the result of Thomas's military paranoia, as Hannah had once teasingly called it. Now, as they huddled in the reinforced concrete space beneath the house, no one was questioning his preparation above them. Heavy footsteps moved through the farmhouse. Not the cautious steps of human intruders, but the confident stride of predators who believed their prey cornered. 7 Varax hunters, Yavik whispered, his eyes closed in concentration. Their minds are ... focused, hungry. Neri trembled against Faye, the child's luminescence dimming with fear. They're scanning for empathic signatures. Thomas checked his shotgun while Hannah clutched a flare gun, minimal defense against alien hunters. But something was better than nothing. Can they sense you down here? Thomas asked. Javi nodded grimly. Eventually. Our empathic field can be suppressed temporarily, but not indefinitely. Then we need a distraction, Thomas decided, formulating a plan. Something to draw them away. Yavik regarded him intently, then reached out to touch Thomas's temple. There is another option. Humans possess a natural empathic resistance that our scientists have studied for centuries. With your permission, I could attempt to amplify it. What does that mean exactly? Hannah asked. A temporary bond, Yavik explained. Sharing consciousness. It would allow Thomas to project a false empathic signature, becoming bait that could lead the hunters away. Now Thomas didn't hesitate. Do it. Yavik's palm pressed against his forehead, cool and electric. Thomas gasped as alien consciousness flowed into his mind, not invasive, but enveloping, like diving into a vast ocean of sensation. He saw Yavik's memories, centuries of life among the stars, the beauty of distant worlds, and a profound loneliness that resonated with his own. Their connection deepened, becoming intimate in ways Thomas had never experienced. Not physical, but something more profound to souls, recognizing each other across the gulf of biology and evolution. Thomas, Yavik whispered, his voice simultaneously in Thomas's ear and mind. Focus on projecting your thoughts outward. Thomas concentrated, feeling something unfurl within him like a dormant muscle, suddenly flexing. Above them, the heavy footsteps paused, then changed direction. It's working, Yavik said, amazement in his voice. They sense you, not us. Thomas moved toward the cellar steps. I'll lead them to the old quarry. Once they're far enough away, take the others to safety. I'm coming with you, Yavik stated firmly. Their eyes met and no further words were needed. The bond between them had transcended language. It's becoming something neither had anticipated, but both now embraced. Hannah understood what remained unspoken. We'll head for the Miller property once they're gone. Meet us there. As Thomas and Yavik emerged cautiously from the cellar, the night air carried the scent of imminent confrontation. The Varax hunter stall, predatory figures with reflective eyes, turned toward them with eager anticipation. Ready? Thomas asked. Yavik's hand found his, their fingers intertwining. Together. New Horizons 3 months later, the Parker farmhouse stood transformed. Solar panels with distinctly non-terrestrial efficiency lined the roof. The barn had been converted into what government officials politely termed a cultural exchange center, though local rumors described it more colorfully as that alien embassy thing. Thomas sat on the porch swing beside Yavik, their shoulders touching as they watched Neri and Faye in the garden. The girls were cultivating a hybrid of earth tomatoes and stellari. Luminescent fungi, a project that had started as a science experiment and evolved into the first cross-species agricultural initiative on Earth. The Varax hunters had been formally removed from Earth's solar system, Yavik reported, reading from a sleek tablet. The Stellary High Council sends their continued gratitude for your family's intervention. Thomas smiled, still amazed by how drastically their lives had changed since that stormy night. The confrontation at the quarry had ended with an unexpected victory when Thomas discovered his amplified empathic abilities could temporarily disable the Varax hunters' neural systems. The subsequent arrival of a stellary diplomatic vessel had transformed A potential disaster into humanity's first official contact with advanced extraterrestrial civilization. Still, strange to think it all started with us just taking in a scared kid. Thomas mused. Compassion is a rare constant across sentient species. Yavik replied, his hand finding Thomas's. Their touch initiated the familiar warm resonance. Between them, a bond that had deepened from tactical advantage to profound connection. Hannah emerged from the house carrying a tray of drinks. The ambassador will be here in an hour, she reminded them. And I still need to finish my presentation on comparative xenobiology. As Earth's newly appointed liaison to the Stellary Alliance, Hannah had discovered her veterinary knowledge provided an unexpected foundation for interspecies medical protocols. In the distance, a government helicopter approached, carrying officials for the weekly briefing. What had once been an isolated family farm was now the center of humanity's expansion into galactic society. Do you ever regret it? Thomas asked quietly. Being stranded here when your ship was destroyed? Yavik's expression softened as he looked at Thomas. How could I regret finding my heart-mind? The Stellari term describing soul partners whose empathic resonance created a bond, transcending ordinary connection, had no direct human translation. Yet Thomas understood its meaning perfectly through their shared consciousness. When I was in combat, I always had this feeling that I was meant for something more, Thomas confessed. Never imagined it would be this. Their relationship had become a symbol of the potential between humans and stellary different biologies united by compatible spirits. The diplomatic corps called it a fortunate cultural bridge. Thomas and Yavik simply called it love. As the helicopter landed, Neri ran to Thomas, her blue skin glowing with excitement. They're bringing the new communication array today, she exclaimed. We'll be able to contact my parents' research vessel. Thomas hugged the child, who had become like a daughter to him. In saving her, his family had changed not just their own destiny, but potentially humanity's as well. It's a pretty good outcome for just letting someone in from the rain, he said. Javik smiled, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of centuries. The greatest journeys often begin with the smallest acts of kindness.